right, let me talk real quick about something I saw in the internet news today. They were talking about how people who work from home work less hours, as in less actual hours spent actually working than people who work in the office. Because, people who work at home, they might be, watching Netflix, that sort of thing in between their jobs, like in between, I don't know, writing, whatever, or taking calls, whatever, the job is. They might be watching Netflix or playing video games or surfing the internet. So in terms of, an 8-hour workday, a person who works remotely does less actual work than a person who works in the office. And that is not surprising at all. That is not surprising in the slightest. But here's the thing, and this is where I think a lot of employers mess up. Because a lot of times people look at that sort of thing and think, oh, they're not working as much, we need to bring them back in the office. And that's the wrong thing to look at. The real thing to look at is the work actually getting done? Because one of the things I think a lot of the big managers and CEOs and people like that kind of miss is that most people are not that passionate about their job. Right? They're not. I don't say you mustn't be. If you are, good for you. But most people are just not that passionate about their job. They have a job because it pays the bills, and that's it. You know what I mean? They're not there because they just love to write reports all day. Look, it's a job. They're able to do it. It's within their skill set and it pays. And that's it. That's all they care about. Now, of course, some people like their jobs, like saying that. And, you appreciate having a job, of course, because at the end of the day, without it, lots of things ain't getting done. But the bottom line is most people are just not that passionate about their job. So yeah, they're going to do things that are going to make their day a bit easier, whether that's watching Netflix in between whatever, or whether that's playing video games in between whatever. And even if you're at the office, I remember when I worked in the office, people be chatting with their friends in between calls. People be maybe reading books in between calls, things like that. There's things that you do to make your day just a little bit easier, a little bit more bearable. So the thing to look at is not how much time they spend actually working during an 8-hour shift. The thing to look at is the work getting done, right? Is the work actually getting done? Is what you need to be done getting done? Is what you are paying them to do getting done? That's the thing to look at. Because if at the end of the day, the work's still getting done, right? They're writing the reports in the way the reports need to be written. They're answering the calls in the way the calls need to be answered. They're not lying to people or messing things up or giving incorrect information. If they're not doing anything like that, if everything you need to be done as per the terms of the employment contract is getting done, so what? If your employees are watching Netflix in between whatever, but that helps them through the day, that helps them get the things done that they need to get done, then so be it. So what if it means they're clocking less actual hours working? That doesn't mean a thing, because there's people out there who would sit there in front of the computer and do all the work and spend all the time working and everything else, and they still messing things up. They're still writing the incorrect reports. They're still lying to customers on the telephone. It's not important how they get the work done. Assuming, of course, there's nothing immoral or illegal. It's not important how they get the work done, just that they get the work done. Because a lot of these employers that are stuck to this idea that everybody needs to be the way they think it needs to be, you end up messing up a good thing. I remember one place I used to work where there's this lady that worked there part-time, and she'll come to work and she'll do their job and she was really good at it and all that kind of thing. And some of the managers were like, oh, we need to get to work full-time. If we need to get to work full-time, if she worked full-time, it'd be much better. It's like, nah, she's good at her job because she works part-time. And this is what a lot of employees don't understand. She was good at her job because she's able to come in, work for a few hours and go home and then do whatever she wants to do from there. Best believe if most people only had to work part-time, most people will only work part-time. People work, or at least most people work as much as they have to. And while they're working, they're going to do the things they can to get themselves through that day. Whether that's chatting with their friends in between calls or watching Netflix or whatever it is, whatever they need to do to get them through the day, they're going to do that. And people who work from home are just able to do it better than others. Now, I will say this. There are some legit cases where it is better to have people in the office in one place to get the work done that you need to get done. There are some cases where that is true. But for most office work, the vast majority of office work, if you have staff that would rather work from home because they know they could sneak a little Netflix in there, and that's going to help them get through the day, get them through what they need to do so they can do the things they want to do, as long as they're doing the work in the way the work needs to be done, so be it.